Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our soccer statistics training automation. What we'll be doing in this one is setting up the macros in Excel and then going in and adding those into Nice. So, let's get started. First thing you want to do is go up to the Developer tab and click Record Macro. And then we want to choose what we're going to name this. We'll call this Column Titles. And click OK. Once you have that, it'll record everything you do. So, we're going to change the names of all of these. So, for starters, you click on the column to highlight everything and go up here. And this is the name of it. So, we can change it now. What we want to do is we'll call this Player, since this is the player. And we're going to go through and do this for each one. Now, what I'm doing is I'm using what the website has listed. That way the statistics match up with exactly what the website says. So in this case, as you can see up here, it has the player, the club, GP, GS, and etc., etc. So this is what we're going to change them all to. So let's go through and take care of all that now. Now that this is all taken care of, you can click Stop Recording. And now if you look at macros, you'll see that we have our macro created. Next, we're going to go through and do our second one. This one is going to be sorting the players. So we're going to click Record Macro, and we'll call this Sort _ Players. Once we click OK, this is going to start recording everything we did, just like the last one. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure all of this data looks good. So go over to the Data section, highlight row C, and click Text to Columns. Then you click Next twice, and then Finish. And we're going to repeat this process for every other column, because we have to do this individually for each one. Now that that's taken care of, we'll move on to the next step. First, we're going to go to the Home tab. Then, we're going to want to highlight column A. Next, we're going to click Sort and Filter, which is way over here on the right. Once we click that, we're going to click Sort A to Z. And we're going to click Expand with Selection. And now, as you can see, it's sorted it based on their first name. So we go back to Developer, click Stop Recording, and that macro is done. Now that we have these macros, we need to make sure we save the worksheet. So we're going to click Save As, and we just want to make sure we're saving it as a macro-enabled workbook. Now that that's done, we can click Save and close up our statistic bot. Now that that's here, we can go in to the final step of our process, which is adding the macros. So click on Workflows. We're going to create a new one, and this one will be for our macros, which is only 2. So let's grab these 2 steps, bring the end closer, and we'll just call it Macro 1 and Macro 2. Let's drag this over, and then we're going to put in the data we need into these. So we need to do Run Macro. So Run Macro in Excel. So I'll drag these down and put them into both. And now Run Macro in Excel. From here, we're going to once again want to put our Excel file path in. This one is going to be Column Titles. And the parameters is just empty list of text. Now that you have that, we go and do the same thing for the next one, except we have to change the macro name. And the macro name for this one, as you remember, is Sort Players. And the same parameters, empty list of text. Now that that's done, you save your automation, and now you've completed the macro section of the automation. Once you run it Now, once you get more data, so let's say next time you go in, and instead of grabbing just those, you grab a bunch of more players. The automation will now automatically sort everything and do the macros for you once it's completed. Thank you all for watching, and you've now completed our soccer statistics training automation.